for the national and regional initiatives. And throughout the year, there's the IGF intersessional work. Anya Gengo leads the meetings. I think they happen every second week for the national and regional initiative coordinators, and they come up with work plans and how they can collaborate together. And then the next slide. I just wanted to also, because there were some questions asked about support for the national and regional initiatives. So at the IGF Secretariat, we can provide support such as hosting of a national website or a web page, remote participation, and we can let you use our remote participation. We have both Zoom and we also have Cisco WebEx as well, so you can have a choice between the two, and we will lend you the rooms and set it up and give you technical support for that. This year, thanks to the Dutch government and also the Finnish government, we had limited funds to give as grants to national and regional initiatives, and I think in this region we are working with the Haiti national initiative, and we're giving them a small grant for the meeting. Hopefully we can continue this next year, but it all depends on the money that we receive from our funders. But special thanks to the Dutch and the Finnish governments for that. And thanks to the German government, we have travel support. I think you all know about that. Unfortunately, it closed on 30th of June, but we are planning to bring in a lot of people from the regions, and the national regional initiatives also had a chance to be involved in the selection process. This year as well, we are trying to come up with a framework, or for a syllabus for the summer schools. So if national regional initiatives want to hold summer schools or some sessions, they can come to our website, download a template and modify it to their needs. And yes, there is the national and regional toolkit. So if you want to know any more information about that, please contact the IGF Secretariat. Next slide, please. IGF@un.org, or you can contact Anya Gengo, who is our national and regional focal point at the IGF Secretariat, or you can contact me as well. I'm here until tomorrow as well, so you can come approach me, talk to me, and I can help you any way I can. And there's the IGF regional mailing list that's there, which you can all join and participate. Okay, that's just quickly, I just wanted to go through that, as I said, to answer a few questions that I heard yesterday. Now, for the future of the IGF process is one of the major outcomes of WSIS, as you all know, and we started in 2006. That is the Global IGF meeting. So we're now on our 14th meeting, and there's been calls for, we should adapt, we should change, we should become more relevant, etc. And there have been many or a few tries in this. We've had the CSDD working group on the IGF, and they've put in their recommendations, which we have followed, those that we can, as far as our funds allow us to, and I think that has been very successful. But the latest one, as I said yesterday, I won't go through the slide presentation yesterday that I did yesterday, but if you can go to the website. We have if you go to our website, and we do have a response to the call by the Secretary General after he received the high-level panel on digital corporations report. Now, one thing I want to note is that this is not the Secretary General's report, it is the report of the high-level panel on digital corporation. So that panel gave the report to the Secretary General. The Secretary General said, thank you very much. He read it and says it's very interesting, and then now he's left it up to us, the stakeholders, the people involved in digital corporation, to read through the report and to see what has good support, what doesn't have that much support, what suggestions or comments that people have on the report. So at the IGF Secretariat, we have taken the report, and if you go to our website and go to the link where it says the panel, it's up one, down one. That's it, that's the link. And that is the wrong, go back. Yes. So we have set up a review platform with the report. Now, as was said yesterday, the report is rather long. So what we are concentrating on is what affects us as the IGF community, which is basically recommendation number 5, which is focusing on the mechanisms. So that is what we have put up here, up front. And at the IGF annual meeting, we are going to have a main session on day 1 at the beginning to discuss the results of this survey and this call for comments that we are having now. Now, I won't read the first paragraph because it's about the report, and you were here yesterday, so you know about it. And then the second paragraph is the digital cooperation at the IGF 2019, and it just states the meeting that we're going to have, and then in preparation that we are going to have a call for comments on basically recommendation 5, global digital cooperation, and the call for comments is open until 30th of September 2019. So we are asking you to comment on the report, just the basic things. The first one is we have some key questions here. You don't have to follow the questions. It's just something to get your thoughts moving. How do we improve the current frameworks? I was talking to some people yesterday, and they say, yes, there is a gap between the policy and the actual implementation. So we're asking you, how do we improve this? If you have any new frameworks or mechanisms that you recommend. And also the big question is, how can we properly fund this? So that is the first 2 recommendations for 5A and 5B. And then we go to these other questions, and you can comment on each of the paragraphs to see whether or not you have any comments and things about the e-envoy. What would the tasks be, and do you think it's a useful thing? And how can we update the global cooperation architecture? But those things you don't really have to worry about. What I'm mostly interested here is views for people who are on the ground, who are implementing this, and how can we structure a mechanism that can allow us to provide answers and to address the challenges that are happening now and in the future. Yesterday people were asking for answers. At this stage we are just trying to find some agile mechanism that can address these questions and find answers to these questions. And so the main one is the Internet Governance Forum Plus mechanism, which was mentioned in the report. And this is, as you know, the IGF Plus aim is to focus on the IGF strengths, including the infrastructure and also the national and regional initiatives. We have 116, and these can be a powerful tool to help structure the global governance mechanisms for the future. Again, I'd like to say, I think this is a very important report to comment on because it has the backing of the United Nations, it has the backing of the Secretary General, and he has the ear of the member states and also other stakeholders. So if you comment, your views will be taken into consideration. So there's questions on the advisory group, and again, there's some seed questions here. What do you feel about the IGF advisory group? How can it be strengthened, its weaknesses, the selection process, etc. And then there's the cooperation accelerator, which I also mentioned yesterday. And how can this come up? How do you think is the best framework or format so that we can involve elderly people, young people? How can we make sure that nobody is left behind? I mean, none of us, no one group knows the answers to these questions, but working together we may come up with, I think we will come up with something that works. And then there is the questions on the policy incubator as well, and policies, making them into norms. And at this moment, our aim is not to have hard policy instruments, but how do we have established principles, norms, codes of practice. That's what we're aiming for. As I said yesterday, this is how the internet was built, and I think we can go on to see how the governance mechanisms as well can be built in such a fashion as well. Maybe we'll have to adjust and adapt, but this is all part of the consultation process. And then there's an observatory and the help desk, because in order to successfully participate in the internet governance debate, you have to have some grounding in the issues. And so we do need to have some sort of a help desk where governments can come, where people from civil society, from communities can come, ask for help, and that can be provided. Even people from members of parliament, legislators, etc., can come and get the help they need to help structure these policy instruments. So we have questions on that. And as you see in question number 3, we point specifically to the national, regional, and youth initiatives. I mean, do we want a central one in Geneva, or do we want a distributed one that can take care of policy issues and their distinctive intricacies based on the region? I mean, not all policies solutions are the same, but 60 to 80, 90% it's similar, but there is those twerks that make it very important that they have to have a regional perspective as well. But we're asking you, how would you do it? So if you have a framework that, okay, we can have a globally distributed help desk, and this is how it will function, I think that would be really great. And again, I cannot stress enough, I mean, it may seem boring, it may seem tedious to answer these questions, but these questions and this report has got the best potential I've seen in the past 10 years of having some concrete results. So I do call upon you to take a look. I mean, you don't have to answer all the questions or comment on all the paragraph. You can comment on one, or just comment on one that speaks to you. Now, as I said, we are concentrating on recommendation 5, but as you can see, if you go to the corner, if you go up the page, all the way up. Yes, there. You see those boxes. As I mentioned, the report is in 3 parts. So we at the IGF Secretariat have put in the 3 parts here, leaving no one behind, individual societies, digital and technologies, mechanisms for global digital cooperation. So if you do feel that you want to comment on any other part of the report, please feel free to do so. So we will combine these comments, make a report that will act as an input into that main session at the IGF 2019 meeting. And at the IGF 2019 meeting, we have Angela Merkel, who's coming, the Secretary General is slotted to come as well, and the German government has made great efforts to invite ministers and people of note to come to this meeting, as you can tell by the travel support that they are providing. So again, I think this meeting is also going to be a very important meeting. I'll stop there because I'm out of breath of the altitude, but if anybody's got any questions, we've got 2 minutes. Roll, please. Yes, and I also would like to take note of Raul's initiative as well. This is part of what the Secretary General is asking for. He's looking for champions to forward this report.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Laura, soy brasileña. Estoy aquí con el programa Youth de Brasil y voy a hablar en português desde esse momento, ok? Bem, primeiro eu queria agradecer pela exposição. Eu gostei bastante de, apesar de estar chegando agora nesse universo da governança da internet, assim como ontem, de ver o relatório aqui do LACIGF também, de ver essas medidas que estão sendo pensadas para o IGF e para o futuro da governança. A minha pergunta ela não é sobre o relatório especificamente, ou sobre essa possibilidade de comentar e tudo mais. A minha pergunta ela é em relação ao cenário sociopolítico que tem se alterado nos últimos anos, em que há diversos governos e autoridades políticas questionando os próprios fundamentos da ONU e, consequentemente, da própria governança da internet. Falo, por exemplo, de iniciativas, tanto aqui no cenário latino-americano quanto global, que questionam o próprio sentido da cooperação, da liberdade e dos fundamentos que fundamentam a internet e a governança da internet. A minha pergunta seria, meu comentário...
Oh, okay, no, carry on. She can't hear you, but she will summarize at the end. Yeah.
Ok. O meu comentário e a minha pergunta é se esses fatores políticos eles são considerados pelo Secretariado e pela própria ONU e pelas próprias pessoas envolvidas na organização do Fórum de Governança Global para poder pensar como é possível manter a sua relevância, manter os próprios fundamentos da governança da internet diante dos recentes modificações políticas da realidade contemporânea. É isso. Obrigada.
Yes. Okay. Just a quick answer. Yes, we are taking that into account. The Secretary General is using his convening power to spread the report to the stakeholders. It has really been discussed at the UN in New York as well, and also other institutions such as the European Union, etc., are discussing it and contributing to the comments. So, of course, we can't force everybody to take this path, but we hope to get a critical mass and move it forward that way. Please, Rob.
Good morning, Secretary. Thank you for your presentation. There's just one ask, very simple ask, is that at the end you can repeat exactly what's where we can find the link for participating in the survey and also for contributing. Because I was exploring the Digital Cooperation website and it's not easy.
Yes. It is at the IGF website, but we will put it in bold. Intgovforum.org.
It's confusing because there is a link for submitting contributions in the Digital Cooperation website, but this is the old consultation.
Yes.
Okay, so
Thanks for that, yes.
I have one question for you, is that what will be